if you stay with the group, you're not going to grow past that. You're going to be that average. So you need to elevate the people that you hang out with to elevate your life.
Welcome everyone to another episode of The Real Estate Path. It's your boy Jimmy Lee. This show is about the real journey, not some highlight reel that you see on Instagram. Because success in real estate isn't built on luck or fancy suits. It's built on failed offers, blown budgets, and the guts to keep going when everyone else taps out. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a beginner, we're here to deep dive into the wins, the loss, and the lessons behind each real estate journey. I have an amazing guest today with me, Edgar the Connector. Welcome to the show.
Okay, man. Thank you for having me on, Jimmy.
Absolutely. So Edgar, walk us through, who were you before real estate and what inspired you to get into real estate?
Oh, that's kind of a long story. I actually, so in 99, my parents were moving to another house, and there was 4 brothers, and they got a 3-bedroom house. I was like, what about me? I'm the oldest, like by 5 years. I'm used to having my own bedroom. So kind of selfishly, but they moved somewhere I didn't want to move to, and I was like, hey, I'm going to take over your mortgage. So I did a sub-2 before I even knew what it was.
Okay.
But then I'm working a job, but I'm still in high school. How am I going to pay for the house, really? I mean, it was low, but I house hacked at that time, at the same time. So I did sub-2 house hacking before I ever knew what it was. And then just after that didn't last long. We got an argument, but after that, I was thinking, it's like, man, I just had this place, rented it out. I was basically, my bills were covered because my roommates were paying the rent. So I was basically living there free. I didn't expand on anything, grow and research, because it was like me and my parents. I didn't think other people would do deals like that.
Yeah.
So I always thought, I was all right, I'm gonna buy my house, I'm gonna fix it up and then rent it out later on, be able to be a landlord, make more money that way. And little by little, it just took a lot of time. And then I got our second primary, put that as a rental, and just did that. But then later on, I started learning more about real estate and wholesaling. And then I found Pace Morby and just went into sub-2 head first, and then 2023.
In that process of getting into real estate, did you have to get educated? Because I kind of stumbled across real estate like you did. I came from Asian culture where we view debt as slavery, cash as freedom. So I didn't understand how to leverage other people's money or banks' money to buy real estate.
Right.
And so I saved up plenty of cash to finally be able to buy something short sale, a condo, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, all cash offers. So after buying that condo, I wanted to find out what my blind spots were, what I don't know. So I picked up the Purple Bible, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And I found out, wow, there's good debt and bad debt. And I was like, oh, why didn't I get educated before I get into real estate?
100%.
So walk me through, like, what was the process like? Did you have to go to meetups, get education, and trying to figure out your way in the real estate world?
Yeah, so first 2020 was just a long-term rental, finding a property manager. There wasn't as much information on YouTube, or if there was, I wasn't looking for it yet. So in 2023, I don't remember why, but I started looking more into it and found people, and then I found Pace, and I started learning about sub-2. No, I didn't go to meetups. Lies. I did. Ryan Pineda had a conference. It was Tykes then, which is all gone now. Different story for a different podcast, but I went to that conference. He's like thinking, went to Vegas, first trip I ever went to, first big meetup I ever went to. I don't even think I went to meetups in like town yet, because I didn't know about the sub-2 community or like RIAs, anything like that. I was working 60, 70 hours a week in construction. And then I went there and just like all the possibilities. I was like, oh man, I can do that. I have a background in sales. And then that just blew my mind. And I was like, all right, I got to get into real estate, get this going. And then from there, YouTube University, I bought a e-com store at that time. So all my funds were there. I couldn't join a community like sub-2 or other ones out there. So I was just going to that and then rented out my house. Then I learned about sub-2, got in the free group, and there I was learning stuff. And then I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to long-term rental my townhouse, because it doesn't appreciate. Don't buy a townhouse if you want appreciation. It didn't appreciate. The long-term rental, I was making $600 cash flow every month, but after 2 years, the house is old. I got to do a repair, turn stuff over. I ended up breaking even for all that work, even though I had a property manager, bad property manager, second, third, bad property manager. And then, so looking at that, I actually met a sub-2 student in the free group, and I sold my townhouse to them so I could learn about the title company that does creative financing, get the contact for service company, and get all the documentation to have it right. And because of the community, shout out to Caleb Christopher back in 2023, he reviewed the contract to make sure it was good without me offering money or anything. It's just the go-giver, the way Sub 2 community is. So I was able to learn a lot there by taking that action. But I was using YouTube University to get the basics of seller financing and then Sub 2 because it's a wrap that we did on my property.
Yeah. So walk me through that. You mentioned Sub 2 several times now. So you're part of this community now with Sub 2 and you're doing deals, you're selling properties to a Sub 2 member and you're getting acquainted with the community and trying to figure out your way in the space. And I think a lot of us, the beginners, we always have issues trying to figure out what can we do? How can we thrive in this community? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the skill set that's transferable from our previous jobs to the real estate investing world? How are we able to come across being a connector?
Well, I didn't know what a connector was till I got listening to Pace talk about it and then learning that you can monetize it. So I have a really good memory. So when I was working construction, 5 years passed by, and a guy go, oh, hey, I worked with you at this job. I was like, you did? It took me a minute. I got to go through the database. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, we worked here. This. Oh, you left the job because this, and this happened. Like, why did I remember that? Just weird little memories that I have like that. Not that I try to remember it, I just have a good memory. So people say, oh, hey, I'm doing this, and that. I say, oh, okay. Oh, have you met this person? They do this, and that. He's like, y'all guys should meet. And then they were like, dude, they're like, hey, thank you for introducing us. This is my partner. We're doing this. I was like, cool, we're making a bunch of money. I was like, that's pretty cool. And later on, I do it again, over and over again. I was like, wait, hold on. These people are making money because of what I did, because of what I remembered. And then listening to, shout out to Colin Yep, he talked about being a connector and how to monetize it. And that's the biggest thing, is being able to ask for that. My culture, the way I was raised in general, is just we don't ask for stuff. People offer us stuff, we say no. So that mindset shifts it, and you have to break out of it to be able to start being able to compensate yourself for that memory that you have, because not everybody has that memory.
Yeah. So I personally struggle with that. So tell me more about that. How do you monetize it? Can you give us more in depth? Like, do you just ask? Like, before you connect people, do you send them a joint venture agreement, or is it after you connect them when they are about to get into an escrow, then you're like, okay, let's put on joint venture agreement? Yeah. Walk us through the process. How does that, like, I know every scenario is different, but just give us an example.
Yeah, so I had Colin Yep on my podcast, and he has a checklist that he goes through. But you always tell him, hey, if you want this connection, yeah, I'm going to put some time and effort to it. My time is valuable. You value the connection that I'm going to get you, right? Yeah, I need to be compensated. Are you okay with that? Why wouldn't they be? They're going to make money.
Yeah. So always have that conversation before anything, before even thinking about connecting people.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes, like right now we're at Squad Up Summit, shout out, wonderful, amazing event.
Yes.
If it's some people here that already have a relationship quick and we're there, I'll connect people and not do it. But if I know that there's a huge responsibility, I try to throw out that, hey, don't forget about me there. Remember that I'm the one that put you guys together, saving you the conversation of trying to figure out how do I communicate what we're doing. It's important to learn the people, because yesterday during this event, I was raising some money for somebody, and I found somebody that has the funds available. And then I went to tell the person asking, they're like, I didn't know that person did that. We're really good friends. So it's just having those conversations, not just about, hey, how you doing, this and that, like what's going on, what are you doing, deep diving into their business structure. And then you can find out things that you didn't know that I was doing.
Me being a connector, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes I actually thoroughly enjoy getting to know people. I have these very deep conversations. We can talk for hours. And sometimes I feel like when I know this person so well, and I'm like, okay, you definitely can connect with that person, and I connect them with that person. And that person's like, oh, I didn't know he does that, just like you said. And it's mind-boggling, but it's going back to what you're saying. I think when you network, right, you really need to get to know the person, not just what's your buy box, what are you working on,
right?
How can, how can we make money together,
right?
But actually get to know the person, build rapport, build that relationship, right? See what their vision is and how you can help. So that's awesome. I love what you shared. So what are you currently working on, Edgar? I mean, besides being a connector?
Yeah, so my podcast is one of my main focuses, just because meeting people and then being able to have an in-depth 1 hour conversation with them is just huge. Being in a conference like this, there's so many people, you don't want to spend a lot of time with them unless you see that it's a high level individual. Spend a little bit more time, but even then, like today's the day after the event's over, so we're both exhausted. But in between that, you're having a conversation, somebody says, hey, comes in, and then you lose track of where you're at, so you don't learn it. So having the podcast, I'm able to do the one-on-one and be uninterrupted. But my main focus is co-living through sober living and veteran housing.
Okay.
Yeah. My plan is to help out 40,000 individuals with affordable housing and teach them how to do it so they can expand and grow it so much faster.
That's awesome. Did you know that I just interviewed Mike and Rachel Davis? That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing a collaboration with what's his
Amigos.
name? Amigos.
Vin and Michelle.
Michael Manaskanian.
Michael Monetize. Yep.
Yeah. Which is another co-living rock star within our community.
Yep.
So that's something to look into. Maybe you guys can do a mega collaboration.
Oh yeah, I've had Michelle and Ben on my podcast. I've had Rachel Davis and Mike Davis, all wonderful people.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are working on seeing how the best way to do that, to be able to maximize housing for veterans. There's a lot of veterans that get released every year that don't have that camaraderie, that team that they had when they were in service.
That's awesome. Hopefully you guys do well and wish you guys all best of luck. Yeah. Okay, so Edgar, I'm gonna shift focus a little bit. What do you do for fun outside of real estate?
There's no outside of real estate. Everything's real estate. You go on a nice trip, like we went to Monterey, there's real estate. While we go out, the place is beautiful. And I'm looking at houses while I'm there, but we're making trips to the park, making trips to the cliffs. But I'm looking at real estate while I'm there because it's part of my job, it's part of my work. So I'm able to use that as a tax benefit.
Sure.
And that's my fun, is going out there and seeing the houses while I'm getting to my view. But besides it, before I got into real estate, I used to play basketball a lot, but I haven't done that much in a while since COVID. But yeah, traveling is probably the biggest thing. I enjoy hiking, going into mountains or like down rivers, like walking the trails with them, taking my dogs and going with my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, I love hiking too. Yeah. Have you been to national parks, any particular spots that
Yeah, so we're in Denver right now. We were here a couple years back and we hit up about 7 different places in this area. Mm-hmm. Portland, Oregon, Mahoutma Falls, Muir Woods. We've been to those different places. Mm-hmm. Austin's got a lot of places. Austin, Texas, we go there.
What's your bucket list of places that you want to go travel?
Ooh, San Miguel de Allende is one place that we're going to want to go to in Mexico. There's so many.
Why would you want to go there? What's there?
We were just looking online and then saw some YouTube videos on it. So we saw some YouTube videos on it and it looked beautiful. My wife likes it. And then we were doing research and it turns out to be rated the best city in the world 6 times.
6 times?
Yeah.
The best place in the world. Really?
Just recently, it was again this year, or the latest vote from a magazine that reaches out to travelers.
So what is there though? Like I understand what's best place. Like is it just scenery, the food, the culture, like
all of it? There's scenery, the architecture. It's spring weather year round. I had an interview with somebody there on my podcast. It was 86, but it was only 13% interest.
You still thinking real estate terms?
Yeah, look at that. 13% humidity, and the elevation is I think 6,000 feet or 4,000 feet, so it's high, and so the weather's springtime throughout the freaking all year long. You get cold nights.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sounds gorgeous to be there. That's very cool. Recently, one of my friends was telling me, hey, you need to make some Brazil content. Because I've been to Brazil twice. And it's apparently, on social media, everyone is going to Brazil this year. I don't know what it is, but I guess the carnival just passed. So that's probably one of the big reasons.
Have you met Eva Norris?
No.
She's Brazilian. She's part of the community.
Oh, okay.
She was on my podcast. You can reach out to her and make some content. She did some deals there, seller finance deals in Brazil.
Really?
Pretty cool.
Okay, I need to connect with her.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yep.
Very cool, very cool. Awesome. Is there anything else you haven't talked about you'd like to share on this show?
Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below. So, hey, just a lot of people out there are worried about what their family's going to think. They're not the ones that are going to help you grow, unfortunately. They're comfortable where they're at. You're going to have to break out from that space and meet people like Jim that are going to be able to do a podcast with you, ask you questions, and connect with you to try to do deals and mention people to work with, like Rachel Davis, Mike Davis, Vin, Michelle, and then I mentioned Eva. So the more people you talk to, the more you'll get comfortable of breaking away from that group that you're in. If you stay with the group, you're not going to grow past that. You're going to be that average. So you need to elevate the people that you hang out with to elevate your life.
That's so good. Yeah, surround yourself with like-minded individual, right? Be in the right room, the right environment.
I wouldn't even say like-minded. I would say more higher level. Because if you're like-minded, you're already with your family or your friends that aren't going anywhere. So if you're new, you got to go to people that are where you want to be at a higher level. Break past your standard.
Yeah.
Once you get to that place, you find your focus, like I'm doing sober living, co-living, and veteran housing, then I go with the like-minded individuals like Rachel Davis, Mike Davis, and been.
Sure.
But when you're trying to break out, get started, as podcast pitch, dream, start, own, you have a dream. What's going to get you started? You're going to start by getting yourself uncomfortable and meeting people that are doing what you want to do. And then own is not just getting a job when you own your company, but becoming an actual owner and being able to delegate it and be able to have free time here, hanging out at a beautiful place in Denver, Colorado, and your business running by itself.
Right. Yeah. Going back to your point, I think it's very important to really break out of the environment that I was telling you about. Like
Right.
when you're with your family, your friends, they don't understand what you're looking to accomplish. They don't understand your vision. When you speak to them in an entrepreneur language, they don't get it.
Right.
Because they're not entrepreneur unless they're also an entrepreneur. Then they would see eye to eye, right?
Right. You mentioned earlier, you grew up saying debt was bad, cash is free. If you stayed in that group and hadn't read that book, you would still be thinking that and not being able to expand with seller finance or being in the substitute community, because to you and the way you were raised is that's bad. Don't join that culture.
Yeah. And I had to break out of my show and put myself out there and try new things, join mastermind, be on podcast show, go network at events, meetups, volunteer for meetups, to really figure out, wow, there's a lot of things I don't know. Right?
And we're always learning every day.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're going to get stuck in lowering your standard.
Yeah, you just be staying stagnant. You be basically comfortable in your own little bubble, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So Edgar, I really thoroughly enjoy this conversation. How can people find out more about you?
Edgar the Connector. Google me, YouTube, Instagram. My website is edgartheconnector.com, and just search for that and then you can find out. I have everything that I'm looking for on my YouTube channel. I have my goal and the reason I'm doing it and how you can work with me.
Okay, make sure to give this guy a follow. And that concludes another episode of the Real Estate Path. If you found value from this amazing guest speaker, Edgar, today, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss another episode, and share it with another friend who is also looking to achieve their real estate dream. Most importantly, take what you learned from Edgar, apply it, because action solves all problems. Now go out there, make some offers, and build the life you've always dreamed of. And we'll see you next time.